Hi everyone, for my 3-minute video I kind of wanted to talk about a personal experience as well as an experience with a vulnerable population between a health provider. This wasn't necessarily an experience that went right in aspect of the healthcare provider, but can definitely be learned from and improved. Just some background, I've talked about my mom a ton before, but just a little refresher. She's from Puerto Rico and she moved here when she was 19 to go to BYU, and that's when she learned English. And so it took her a very long time to kind of learn the English language as it would. And even then, when me and my siblings were born, she still had a hard time with English, and she still does. But what made it even harder is that when people aren't around vulnerable populations, especially Hispanics, their accent can be hard to understand. And if there's not a medical translator there, or if they don't speak Spanish themselves, or if they're just not aware of the culture, a healthcare visit can go not super smoothly in that case. So for example, the experience that I wanted to share was I have 4 siblings, and my youngest siblings are identical twins. And they were born prematurely and spent a lot of time in the NICU. And my mom is someone who worries a lot and wants to make sure that she's doing everything right for her kids, which so many moms do. And so because she was so nervous about their experience in the NICU and also just wanted to make sure that they were developing and growing with other kids their age, there was a lot of doctor visits between my mom, and she would bring the twins with her. And eventually, my little sister's pediatrician prescribed them this kind of multivitamin that would help them develop. But it was a really strong multivitamin that needed to be prescribed by a doctor and picked up at a pharmacy. So when my mom went to go pick up the medication, she opted in for the option that you can talk with the pharmacist and they can explain the medication and how to take it. And my mom, there was still a language barrier, even though she was much more fluent in English now. And then her accent was very heavy. And so when she went to the pharmacist with multiple questions, the pharmacist kind of gave her the very simple layout of the medication. But when she went with questions of what if this happens or what if that, the pharmacist kind of pushed her off and didn't really respond. And eventually, after a couple more questions, he was just like, just take the medication and go, and left the counter. And so my mom, having no other option, took the medication home and gave it to my sisters with the best of her ability. But as you can tell, this experience with this healthcare provider, this pharmacist, didn't go super smoothly. I think if this pharmacist would have had more experience with vulnerable populations, especially Hispanics, or would have been more patient with my mom when it takes her longer to understand these instructions in English, it could have gone smoother. And I think that's something we can all learn from.